Hi everyone, welcome to Ask Us Anything about the application process for the 2023 Deep Learning Indaba, scheduled to take place in Accra, Ghana this year from September 3rd to 9th. So we hope you would be there. And my name is Tejumade Afonja, and I'm the chair for the application and selection committee. And I also have all of our teammates. I'm not sure if everyone is on the call, but we have some of the our teammates that I can see right now. Amal 1, Amal 2. Do you want to introduce yourselves to our audience or guests?
Hi, I'm the real Amal. And I'm also part of the application and selection committee with Tiju.
Hi, everyone. I'm Deborah Kanobala, but currently you see my name as Amal because I joined with her link. So I'm part of the applications and selection committee as well.
Hello, everyone. Same situation as Deborah. I'm Futse, and I'm also part of the application and selection committee.
Well, thanks everyone for introducing yourself. We also have members of our other committee who will be joining us, and hopefully they can introduce themselves as well once they're on the call. And right now I'm showing you the statistics. As of yesterday, we had about 46 registered people on the report of some statistics. So this is what it looked like. But as of today, before the call, we have over 94 registered participants. So we should have quite some people on the call, and the distribution should probably look a bit different. But from what we had yesterday, we see that half of you have already started your application and half of you on the call have not. And we hope that by the time we finish this Ask Us Anything session, we can flip everything to 100 yes. And so before we start, let's talk about the Indaba. So a lot of the questions we got ask us what is the Indaba. So the Indaba is the Deep Learning Indaba. That's the full name, but we also call it the Indaba. The Deep Learning Indaba is it exists to strengthen African machine learning community. It's a conference whereby we have like this year we have a full 6-day activities where people come to the conference. We have talks, we have invited talks, we also have learning going on. We have research in Africa there where people present their work. So many things as you can like we also have like our program like on the website, so you can have a look at what this year's program would roughly look like. And if you don't know the website, it is deeplearningindaba.com. And here, if you go to the provisional program, you can look at the program for this year. You see that we'll talk about things like natural language processing. We usually have talks around that. So we also have different workshops at the day and practical sessions and so on. So I would leave you to peruse our website at your own leisure so that you can get a better understanding of what this event or what this conference is all about. And so there is not a huge format for today's Ask Us Anything. It's really about you. We want to answer your question. We want to know what you're curious about. And thank you for filling the question, for already sharing some of your question with us through the form that you filled. So if we don't receive any live question, we can also go over these questions and try to answer some of them. Hopefully it's helpful. So yeah, should we I think we'll get started to your questions. Any question from the audience? What would you like to know? What are you curious about? Yeah, you can raise your higher. So we also have Haya on the call. Haya, please unmute and speak.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So I have a question. Can you tell us more about what makes a successful application?
Haya, don't do this. By the way, Haya is disguising. She is part of the programs committee. So if anything is unclear to you about programs, you know who to ask.
Yeah, but I am part of the people who said no, so I do need some help.
Okay, well, so I was holding this question for Avishka, right? So but I don't think he's on the call right now. Your question is that how do you make a strong application? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. And for that, I'm going to go to our very nice slide where we try to talk about what we think the typical trait of the trait of typical Indaba attendees. So when we think about like people who are part of the Deep Learning Indaba, we think of people who are very active in the community. They're involved in building capacity in their local communities. We think about people that are very enthusiastic. Whenever they're learning something new, they enjoy learning. And how do we know that someone is enthusiastic? Is how you respond to some of the questions that we ask you, especially in the tell us about yourself sections. We tell you to tell us what you do, what makes you excited about this conference. And we hope that by through that, you can provide us information that help us understand how enthusiastic you are about attending Indaba, what you have done. And another trait that we typically look for is like how motivated you are. I already mentioned that. So you have a clear idea of how the Indaba is going to benefit you, your career. Maybe you're like finishing school right now and you want to maybe start your master's, or you want to get into industry. You need like help, or you want to learn something new, or you want to make connections or things like that. So, typically we want to see all of that to make sure that the people that we invite to the Indaba are people that would benefit the most from this experience, right? Indaba happens every year. So apart from the COVID times, which I'm sure you can understand. So we want to, since if you don't attend this year, it doesn't mean you cannot attend next year, right? So we want to make sure that you're applying at the time that it's the most important for you in your career, in your journey. Another thing is that we look for people who are open to learning. This means that they show very keen interest in learning, and not just learning to benefit themselves alone. They also have to show to us that they are teachers in some way. They share. You don't have to teach classes. It's great to do so, but you can also share in different ways. You can write a blog post. You can, tell your colleagues, teach your colleagues. Next year, invite more people. In fact, this year, as you're filling the application, you're sending the application link to all of your friends and making sure that they're also applying. Your female friends, you're not leaving them behind. Those are the people that this is the spirit of Indaba, Masakani, we build together, right? And so we were also looking for people that were experienced, because it's a lot of technical content, and it's very, very heavily focused on machine learning related content, but it's not only machine learning that we do. There are a lot of other other talks that are involved in the conference, but we want to make sure you have a working knowledge, you at least know what machine learning is, or you're doing some project that is related. It's not like this is the first time in your life that you've heard about deep learning or machine learning or anything like that. And because you may not be able to benefit the most the most of English is trying to disgrace itself right now for the practical sessions. Yeah, so, and we also looked for traits such as inspiring, like, you know, we ask you some of the challenges that you may have faced. If you have, like, you know, maybe you know, everyone has a unique story, right? For example, I studied mechanical engineering in school when I was an undergrad, and then, you know, after 5 years later, I did my master's in computer science. Like, I self-taught myself how to program, things like that. You know, if I was filling this application, that's the thing I would be choking in small. So it's like, you know, I know how to read, or I know how to, you know, self-learn. I've been trying. You know, it's not to sound, it's not about like trying to oversell yourself. It's like things that you have actually done. But the only way we know that is if you tell us what you have done, you know, and don't ever, and please don't oversell, like don't say things that you have not done, because it's very easy to catch a lie. We've been reviewing application for a long time, and we also consult online to verify some information that look like, looks like this person. See, I hope it's not ChatGPT-3 that is like generating all of this answer like this. You know, we like reviewers would like look at online research to kind of like corroborate some of this information or even flag it so that we can check, because reviewers don't have access to the information, like personal information of the to the applicants, except the ones that you slot into your answer. But essentially, they can flag it to say that something doesn't seem right about this application. We should double check or something like that. So those are like some of the traits. Another traits we look for is like, you know, being an entrepreneur. Like, we want to see that maybe you're building something. You have like entrepreneurial spirit. Or maybe you founded something somehow. It could be non-profit, for-profit, things like that. You're building more capacity in your own way. So, but essentially, Indaba is all about you, like you and your unique traits, and that makes up who you are. And then we also like, so we don't like, not every of this traits in terms of like the active in community intercessor, like you don't have to necessarily like check each and every of those boxes, but like what encompasses our reviewing, like when we review application, and this is like usually like the things that we look at to help us make a final decision as to whether or not this candidate is ideal, or we think this candidate should attend the Indaba. I hope that answers your question. Hi.
It does. Thank you so much, Tiju.
Oh, thank you. All right. So, do we have any other question? Thank you for asking that question, Ayado. I think this is really important. So, thanks. Any other question? Okay. Let's just. All right. Go ahead, please. You can also use the raise hand functionality. So I know who wants to ask a question. I can just say, oh, this person or the so I cannot see everyone right now, but
I see two hands. There are two hands. Maybe Sarah can go.
Okay, thank you.
If I pronounce it right. I don't know.
Okay, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
So this is my first time applying for Indaba. So please, I would like you to explain more about it. And I didn't get, is it that when we fill the form to be an attendee, would some of us will be accepted for the Indaba aside from us submitting our papers?
Yes.
Please, I would like more light on that. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Amal, would you like to take a stab at that? So that it's not just me, everyone is here.
I think you're better. You can take this one. I'll take the next one.
Okay, yeah. All right. Okay. So to explain more about the Indaba, right? the Deep Learning Indaba is an annual meeting, gathering. Indaba means gathering in South African language. I cannot remember, I can't remember the exact language, but one of the
Zulu.
Zulu, thank you. It's the Zulu. It's the Zulu word for gathering. So it's an annual meeting of African machine learning and artificial intelligence community with the mission to strengthen African AI. So in 2023, this year, we will gather again and meet for a week-long event of learning, research, exchange, ideation. We exchange ideas, we debate around the state of the art in machine learning and artificial intelligence. And this will all happen in Accra, Ghana, from 3rd of September up till the 9th of September. You can find more information about the Deep Learning Indaba on our website called deeplearningindaba.com. If you want to learn about the program for this year, it's not finalized yet, but this is a rough idea of what the program looks like. So another question you have about this is that, like, is it a, like, how does it work? Do you just apply and then get accepted? Or like, do we select people? Unfortunately, the Indaba is like usually like oversubscribed, you know, and we don't have space to accommodate everybody. But we will be selecting from the pool of people that apply, the candidates that's best, that we, like, based on our review, meet all our review criteria. So we'll be selecting, and then just by putting your research, like we are asking you to provide details about your research. We are asking you whether or not you would like to present. All of those information strengthens your application, but does not guarantee you automatically a space at the Indaba. So we, like I mentioned earlier while I was talking to Aya, so we always look at a lot of different traits, not just one, not just about your research, you know, so you need to be able to like motivate why you want to apply to the Indaba. Don't just say, oh, I want to apply to the Indaba because I want to meet people. Accra is a really nice place. I've never been there before. You know, you tell us why the Indaba is really, really important for you right now at your career, what you hope to learn, what you hope to do with what you have learned. You know, things like that is what we look at to help us make informed decision as to whether or not you have the best candidates to select at this time. You may not be the best candidates this year, doesn't mean you are not the best candidate next year. You know, like I mentioned, the Indaba happens yearly, apart from the COVID times. But so it's possible that it's important that you apply at the time when you can maximize the whole opportunity the best. And we are looking for people that would maximize the opportunity. Does that answer your question, Sarah?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any other question?
Yeah, maybe Julius? I
Okay.
don't know. I have no idea if I pronounced it right.
Yeah, it's Julius.
Julius, okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to find out how does, I know students, the application is free for students, but how do they get, how do you call it, a scholarship to Indaba?
Okay.
Or
So
what qualifies them?
yes, thanks for that excellent question. So yes, the application is free for students and early career academic researchers, but it does not mean that
Who qualifies for, sorry, but who qualifies as an early career researcher?
So early career researcher, according to how we have used it, if you look at our application page, the people that qualify as early career researchers are typically people that are doing their postdoctoral researchers, like research assistants that are based at a university.
Okay,
if you're
great.
making money, please pay us. You know, don't choose early career researcher, academic research. You know, you have to choose industry applicant because you have. So the whole point of this is to ensure that, like, you know, we don't overburden students, because we know that a student don't make money or don't make a lot of money to begin with. But the application process also differs based on your category. So it's really important that you choose the category that that's best, that's you her currently, did that answer your question? I feel like I missed something about your question. I don't know. Was that all you asked? Maybe
Yeah, so if I'm a student, how do I then qualify for
the travel grant? Amazing. Okay, yeah. So the thing is that everyone can, like everyone who is a student, can, and student and faculty, you can request, or would you like to? We ask you if you would like to be considered as a travel grant, and if you want to be considered, you can click which one. But we are not using your application necessarily to select the travel grant. It's a different process than your application. So you can see that we're not asking you to motivate why you want a travel grant or anything under this page, because at the end of the day, the travel grant would not, the qualification criteria is maybe, I would say, we use a random sub-selection. So we don't use, the first process is that if you qualify, we select you as a potential attendee, then that's the first phase. You have to be selected to attend. Once you're selected to attend, we just like sub-select different applicants from the different countries, or like we always have selection targets, like the number of women or the number of men or the countries, the different kind of countries. We want to make sure that the grant we are able to cover a lot of that with the little grants that we have. By the way, we don't have a lot of grants. That's why we have all of this gymnastic about thinking about how to allocate these grants. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that there's nothing you can necessarily do to be eligible for a travel grant. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's much more like a random selection, if we can put it that way, because we just like randomly select from the different, based on our selection target.
Yeah, if I can add something to you, that's why also if you're a PhD student, for example, it's in your best interest, for example, to ask your supervisor if they can provide you with, travel grant or something similar. Like, don't wait for us if you have an alternative.
Yes, it's really important, please. And, start looking for ways to secure a fund like now. Because, of course, you have to wait to be selected to attend. But once you're selected to attend, then it is no guarantee that you would receive one of these travel grants. So it's really important that you have a means of attending. Do we have any other question?
I think James?
Maybe Tejumade, just to mention with regards to, in case you are even accepted for a travel grant, the fact that flight tickets are only bought from one African country to the other. And so if you are based out of Africa and you even get a travel grant, you can't get a ticket from out of Africa to the conference. You strictly have to be flying from an African country to Accra.
Yeah, actually, even so we only consider people who live in Africa, who are schooling in Africa or are based in Africa for travel grants. And it's all because we're just we don't have a lot of money and we want to maximize the people that are in the continent. So I know it might sound like I don't know how it sounds to you, but we've had like some concerns like, like how about Africans that are studying abroad, things like that. And we understand, and all of those concerns are very valid, but we just simply don't have enough money. And we want to maximize the number of student opportunity for people that are on the continent, that are schooling on the continent, that live on the continent.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Do we have any other question from the amazing audience that we have today?
Maybe James, if you want to go, ask.
Hi, good evening. So I see a lot of emphasis on postdoctoral research, academic research, but what if you are more of, should I say, a freelance research? Yours is more on a level of enthusiasm, curiosity, and also probably preparing for that postdoctoral or master's degree. So what kind of category would you fall into? It's like you have some industry experience, but you're preparing for school, and you know, rather than just wait, you're trying to get some hands-on knowledge experience by doing your research.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, as you can see here, like on our category, we said freelance as freelancers industry, but you also mentioned that, you know, you're not necessarily an industry because you may not be making money, you're just like independent researcher, something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're like doing any unpaid job or like independent researcher, you're not making money, or you're just then we would like usually would be the category of students, right? Because then it's like you have completed your degree or you're waiting for another degree, but you do not think you qualify, you did not identify as an industry person or like nonprofits or a public or government sector. Then we would encourage you to choose the category that says like students or early career academic researcher, because you do not identify as like an industry or unemployed, because we also have a category for like unemployed category as well. Is that helpful?
Yes. I think I have 3 or 4 questions, so this is my second one.
Okay.
So if you live in Ghana, what other does it mean you don't qualify for any scholarship or any grants?
Okay, so if you live in Ghana, I'm not sure. I'm thinking that usually so accommodation is usually like available. We like from past experience, we usually give accommodation grant to students that ask or apply for it. But travel is much more expensive, especially when you're coming from other parts of the country. But if you're local, we could, I think part of our selection target is to ensure that like a lot of people from Ghana also are able to like attend. And so we can reach out to the local organizing committee to know like, you know, how much to budget for such, you know, would you be traveling from another part of Ghana to Accra? I mean, not everyone lives in Accra, right? But if you live in Accra, maybe you don't need a travel grant. You just like, you can just like take a bus to the venue or something like that. But I imagine that if you live outside of Accra, just like in Nigeria, not everyone lives in Lagos. So if the conference is happening in Lagos, like what about people that lives in Adamawa, for example? How do they get to Lagos? So I think I understand what you mean. Yeah, but we would try to see what we can do. Again, maybe about the like the grants for the local people who are local to the country.
So Tiju, I think like we already settled that in the application form. If you go to the travel support, we already say that airport transfers in your home country and at this destination are not included. So like after you fill those.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, in the second line, a travel grant will only cover a single return ticket to and from airport, and then airport transfers in your home country and at the destination are not included.
No, I think this is this is talking about, yeah, I see what you mean. I think this is referring to if you're given a travel grant and maybe, for example, you live in Nigeria and you get a travel grant. Once we get you to Accra, how you get to the venue is your own responsibility. Do you understand?
Yeah.
What we mean by that. So once you offer a travel grant, it's like you don't have extra money to pay from the airport to, you know, maybe yourself. But I don't think it's necessarily addresses what the plans we may have for people living in Ghana. Like this is all about money. It's only if we have like budgets for the like some extra fund, but I would really say that you should not like, base all of your plans on this. Like I said, we don't have a lot of money. If you can help us raise money, in fact, we have sponsorship, the prospectus, you can share it with your mentors, with everyone, to help us raise some money. You can look through it. So yeah, it's just about money. There's just not a lot of money. But anyway, coming back to you, does that kind of like give you an idea of like an honest idea of like the plans we may not have or we may have?
Could add that usually the Indaba organizes EPA transfers in groups when we get into the country. So that usually happens. But also if you are local and you'd like to attend the Indaba, you could just apply for just the accommodation travel grant, and you could get it. And if you're coming from another province, you could just get accommodation. And yeah, so that's an option.
Thanks Jay. So yeah, that's the thing. Like last year in Tunisia, I remember that there was the local committees organized like a bus to come pick people from the airport, but we cannot guarantee it. That's why we put that clause that we cannot guarantee that, but who knows, it happened.
Okay, so my third question is, what's the difference between the event and the mentorship program?
Okay, so I'm not sure if you're referring to this mentorship program. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, so mentorship.
So Indaba, the Deep Learning Indaba, has a conference. The Deep Learning Indaba is an organization. We organize a conference every year. There's also Deep Learning Indaba X's, that's a local community where they also organize events. So within the Deep Learning Indaba, the organization, there's also mentorship program that happens. So anyone can apply to this mentorship program. This is irrespective of the conference itself. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So if you need a mentor, you have you have like some paper, you want someone to look at it, or you want to apply for a job, you don't know if your resume is up to date, like things like that. Like you just need a mentor, like a one day mentor. I mean, the mentor is only going to talk to you for that specific thing that you apply for. It's not like a recurring, they're not like your mentor for life. You may be lucky, they might like you and you become mentors, mentees for life. But it's just like very specific to that thing that you need to do. And it's like, I think 1 hour call. So you can apply. I've used it before. I also I was working on a project. I wanted a mentor to look at it. And then I applied that I needed a mentor, and I got matched with someone from the pool of mentors that Deep Learning Indaba has, and we got on a call, we talked, she's talking about all my problem. Before I knew it, it's like the time has finished. I was like, I've not finished talking about my problem. So I would recommend that you actually, stream it down to like a very specific things you want to talk about and you want their help for. If it's to help you look at the paper, you send them all of the information beforehand so they can have a look and you can maximize your time together. So that's the thing about this mentorship program. So I encourage everyone on the call to make use of it. It's for you. But if you are already like a badass, like everyone needs a mentor, everyone can be a mentee. So everyone is in different part of their life. So if you also feel like you can mentor some people in some certain areas of their life, you should also apply to be a mentee so that other people can, apply for mentorship and you can be their mentor and things like that. Does that sort of answer your question?
Yes. So my final question is, when it comes to applying for conferences, there's usually a call for paper and I've seen a few areas where the paper is. I've seen a few focus areas, but what if your area is is not directly within um it's not directly within these focus areas, but it's more of an application to an existing area. So, for example, when you look at I don't know if you can go to the application page for the conference. No, the place where there's the deep learning, natural language processing, and all of that
The
stuff.
program.
This one.
Yes. So for example, my area of interest is basically around smart cities and autonomous mobility, but that does not fall in any of these directly. But it's more like there are various aspects of that apply things like data engineering, computer vision, and for example, AI safety, right? So how are you able to, how would you suggest that we structure the paper to be able to
So
match the requirements of
this is an amazing question that you have just asked. I just want to mention that all these programs that we will cover at the Indaba, it's not a focus, it's not topics that all the papers at the Research in Africa Day has to be about. So what I mean is that, yes, you're right. In conferences, there are like themes, and they are looking for papers in this broad theme that they have, but it's not the same. It's not that's not the same here. So this is not a call for paper application. Yes, we may have that in the future, but the application right now, when we ask you to talk about your abstracts, to share any work, it's like any kind of work that you have done. Relating to like AI or whatever that you have results about that you can share and you can talk about. So, and if you also choose, you can also choose to present this work at the research in Africa. In fact, we encourage you to. So the most important thing is that we want to look at that, like the different kind of research that is being done by people in Africa, people that are attending the conference. So it's not tied towards this thing that you have here.
Sorry to catch you, but what's the definition of work? Is it a presentable like prototype, whether it's a robot, something? Is it an idea? Is it a research? Is it a finding? Is it a software? Like what would you describe as work?
So work is very targeted at like we use research/work because it's much more about like what you have done that has some you start with I'm a researcher, so we start with a problem, there's an hypothesis, then there's a follow-up experiment, and then you have results, hopefully, and then you have methods, like how you have done that problem, so which you can share and the whole communities can learn about. There is that part if you're a researcher. If you're applied, like a machine learning practitioner or something like that, it's a different route. Like you apply a certain tool, like a certain machine learning tool to like your problem, but there's still a problem. There's still something you're trying to solve. So work involve, Deborah, thank you. So it work involve any scientific or research process. Deborah, I will just allow you, like you can just talk and maybe talk more about what you mean, so that we get like different opinion, different views about what work.
Okay, so like I just wanted to say that the work you could think about work in this case to involve any scientific or research process that has the potential or impact to solve an existing problem. So it could be a software that seeks to solve a particular problem. It could be just a theoretical paper that sort of presents new ideas, or it could also be like a direct application of some particular scientific process that you're using to solve an existing problem. So we are not specific that it must just involve ML. And then just building up on what Tejumade said, I think one thing about the Indaba is that we want to sort of promote collaborations. And so your work may not necessarily have huge components of ML, but what it's once you present your work out there, what you're seeking to do is that people could find interest, and there are people with different backgrounds, and based on what you present, they can come up with interesting ideas on how you can actually extend the work and then incorporate some ML or data science techniques to actually even make the work better. So the work necessarily doesn't have to be tangible. It could just be the normal papers that you write and all of that. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Yes, thank you. Any other question? Aya, do you also want to talk? Aya, please, you can also talk.
Okay, I just want to ask James. James, did you attend the Indaba before, or have you applied to attend an Indaba before?
No, this is my first. So professionally, I have been creating software for like
Okay,
the past 5 years. But
awesome.
for the future, I wanted to focus more on mobility, especially in Africa. And one of the areas that keeps coming up is the application of AI
Okay.
in mobility. So I think that's where most of my focus has been in. And I'm currently pursuing um, a master's in mobility and data science. I've
Okay, so I
applied,
just want
hopefully I
to
get in.
I just want to give you an overview about how people present their work during the Indaba. Of
Okay.
course, everyone is welcome to apply. Everyone from industry to academia, students, everyone is welcome to apply. And the way that the Indaba works is it's not like other more traditional conferences where you apply by submitting a research paper or a short abstract or some sort of a representation of your work. Instead, you apply to attend the conference as a whole. And after people get selected to attend the conference, everyone who gets accepted is invited to participate in what we call Research in Africa Day, where everyone is invited to bring along posters and present their work, be it finished or in progress, or even like at the idea stage. So other attendees can interact with them, open up, opportunities for collaboration, so on and so forth. So you don't apply with your work, be it, idea, work in progress, or finished. You just fill in the application and you do mention whatever it is that you're working on. And after you get selected, every participant at the Indaba is invited to showcase their work during the poster sessions. Some people are selected to do lightning talks. And this year, actually, there might be, we might be producing a proceeding. We might be introducing a new track at the Indaba. And maybe Tiju or actually someone else from the team can give a hint about the publications track. But since it's not yet announced, maybe just keep an eye out when the announcement happens for more details about how to submit to the proceedings. But in any case, you're just invited to fill in the application to the best of your knowledge and according to the tips that Tiju mentioned. And everyone who gets accepted is invited to share their work at whatever stage that work might be to everyone who is attending the Indaba during the Africa Research Showcase Day.
Finally. So are we, so aside applying to be an attendee, can you apply to be like to have a presentation?
So I mean, during your application, we ask you if you'd be interested in presenting your work at the Indaba, and you can select yes or no. So everyone that select yes, we after selection, we reach out to them to prepare a poster presentation that will be showcased on the Research in African Day.
All right, thank you. I'll give the floor to other people to answer questions.
Yeah, I see Anthony for a while.
Oh my God, Abishka is on the call. Sorry, Abishka is also Amal. I'm very crazy right now. All my team are using the same link. everyone is Amal today.
So maybe Anthony, if you want to go.
Okay, well done. Thank you for this section. And I just want to ask, can someone present paper that's been accepted in other conferences, something you've presented before or conference? Can you bring it to Indaba to present?
Okay, well, thanks for the question. And now that my boss is on the call, I would allow Habishka to take this question and also shed more light about some of the programs that we have lined up. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everyone. Sorry, can you repeat the question? I got cut off a little bit there.
Okay. I was asking for the research and work session, can someone present a research that's he or she has presented in other conference, and then want to bring it to Indaba to talk about it? Is it possible?
Short answer, yes. Longer answer is maybe also related, I think, to the previous question, is to clarify that the Indaba started as a summer school. So it started as a school to learn about AI. And slowly over time, we are transforming into more of a conference. And currently we are somewhere in between. So we are both a school to learn about AI and also a conference where people can share their work and get feedback on their work and network and form collaborations, etc. So the intention of the research days and of presenting your work is more because we want to build or help build a culture of doing research in Africa. So there are no requirements really, other than it should be somehow related to AI. If it's presented at another conference, that's fine. If it's work in progress, it's fine. Even if it's just an idea, that's also fine. The intention is to help people get used to presenting their work and getting feedback. And it's a good opportunity because the Indaba attracts people from all over the world. So to get a lot of eyes on your work and to benefit from the feedback that you can gain in that way. So it's more that we're providing a platform for people who are accepted to attend to grow as researchers and as applied machine learning practitioners. And you're kind of free to use that in whatever way would work best for you. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's good. Thank you.
We don't have a lot of time, but I really wanted also to talk about this awards we have. And Avishka, I was wondering if you could talk about the 3 amazing awards, so everyone can have understand what it is and maybe apply.
Okay, sure. You're gonna make me answer all the questions then.
Idea. I'm excited you're on the call.
So the Indaba Award Program started in 2018, I believe. And the idea is to recognize, so there's a lot of amazing research that's happening on the continent. And the idea of the award program is to recognize that and to again, provide a platform for that amazing work that's happening. So we have 3 awards. We have the Kambule Doctoral Dissertation Award, which is basically awarded for excellence in a doctoral thesis. And it's open to anyone who's completed their PhD thesis, I believe, since 2019, because we didn't run the program for a few years. And so the last time we ran it was 2019. So the idea is it's a thesis that's anything related to AI, computational statistics, machine learning, information theory. The full list of criteria is available on the website, but you're free to apply for yourself or also to nominate someone else. And the idea is to recognize that work, provide the winner of the award will be invited to attend the Indaba and present their work. And in the past, we've also been able to fly winners to Oxford to present their work. So I'm not sure if that's confirmed for this year, but that's the sort of thing that we would try to unlock. So very similarly, we have a Masters Award, which is also available for very similar to the Kambule Award, but it's awarded to excellence in a master's thesis named after Grace Alele Williams. The criteria are very similar to the Kambule PhD Award, and the prizes are also very similar. So you would have a platform to present at the Indaba and potentially a cash prize and some other opportunities that we will make available. Then we have a third award, the Matai Impact Award. So this one is slightly different. So this one is not awarded for an academic thesis. This instead is awarded for individuals, teams, or organizations that do impactful work related to machine learning in some way and for the benefit of African communities. So it's a pretty broad criteria. And to give an example of winners, I believe Bio from DSN was a winner of this award in the past. So that's a very good example of someone who's doing work related to AI and having a huge impact on African society and communities. So this award recognizes excellence in that way. So maybe a slightly more applied way than the other 2 awards. And yeah, applications are open and for these awards, and they close on the 28th of February. So if you would like to nominate yourself, or if you can think of your friends or students or colleagues who have done some excellent work, then please nominate them by the deadline.
Thank you, Avishka. Okay, so we're right almost on.
Okay, sorry, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have a point. So, is there a limit to the number of works that you can share for one person? So, can I do like 2, 3, or just one?
Yes, the limit is the word limit there. So as long as you can fit all the work under 300 words, that's fine. But we would really encourage you to ensure that maybe just choose one work that feels very dearly to you, if I can use the word, and make sure to describe the problem, the methodology, the results of the work. Oh, were you talking about the awards or the application? Now I got confused.
Can I submit more than one research? Okay, I see that this is kind of an application stage. What is it?
Well, is it for the award? Sorry, I got confused.
No, that's for the award. I mean for the research that I want to present, like I want to share with people. So I'm asking if I can do if I can do like 2 or 3 works that I have done that I want to share with people. So that was
am I on the right question? Are you referring to this question?
No, I'm not.
Where we ask you to talk about your work.
Okay, I think yeah, this is I think this should be the question. You know, I'm referring to the question when you said research slash work, and someone was asking you the kind of work or this kind of stuff. So I'm not asking if I can submit more than one project or AI research
Much
that I
more,
want.
it's more
Yeah.
about you talking about that work or research, not just like sending like a link to the work that we should go read about. So you have to describe the work, what you did, the problem, the methodology, how you solved the problem, the results that you got. So if you can do like multiple work or research on the 300 words and sufficiently explain what your contribution, which I am not sure it's ideal, but yeah, I just want to make sure that you're not just like putting links to your work. You have to
Yeah. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for asking. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's Ask Us Anything about the 2023 Deep Learning Indaba application. I hope that we have been able to answer some of the key questions that you have, and we hope that you will be applying to the Indaba very soon. The application process is very lightweight. It does not take a lot of time. So please, if you already started your application, make sure to complete it before the deadline, which is the 6th of March, 2023. Not a lot of time left. And if you've not started, I hope that this discussion or has clarified whatever doubts that you may have, and you would be encouraged to apply. And if you have someone you would like to nominate for the awards, please make sure to go to our website, look at the awards, nominate yourself or your colleague, or people doing amazing work and for your dissertation or for your master's. Please make sure to share the application form, especially to your female colleagues. Encourage them to please apply, and also to your friends. And we build together, we share together, and this is like the spirit of the Indaba. And we hope that we will be application will close, and then we will review for another 1 month, and we will I'm just trying to check when the deadline. Okay, so you should be able to get some response from us by April. Sometimes in April, you should know whether or not you're accepted to attend the Deep Learning Indaba 2023. That's it for today. Is there any other thing that maybe I missed from my team before we close? Amal, Fute, Deborah, still on the call?
Yes, I think you said everything.
No, we talk no French. Fute, I let
You want us to say what in French?
Yeah, like we are applying. We also receiving applications in French. We didn't.
Yeah, sure. Feel free. I don't know if there are French people in the call. They could also ask questions in French if they didn't know. Unfortunately, we are at the end, so you are encouraged, especially tell us about yourself, so that it shouldn't be a barrier.
Parle français.
Ah oui, tu as raison. You're right. So, s'il y a quelqu'un dans l'appel qui est plutôt francophone ou plutôt à l'aise en français, n'hésitez pas de postuler en français, et spécialement la section là sur l'écran, Tell us about yourself, où on vous demande vraiment de vous vendre, partager tout ce que vous semblez, vous trouvez important à dire pour soutenir votre candidature. Et donc, si vous êtes à l'aise en français, dites-le en français, même si les autres parties de l'application, vous le répondez en anglais. Mais cette partie-là, elle a un poids élevé pour votre application. Donc, n'hésitez pas à postuler là-bas en français. Et n'hésitez pas à poser aussi des questions en français via l'adresse email qu'on vous a partagée ici et qui se trouve également sur le site.
Bonsoir.
Ah, bonsoir.
Oui, j'ai dit ceci. C'est seulement cette année ou les autres années, il y avait aussi des versions françaises?
C'est cette année, pour être plus
Seulement
inclusif.
cette année.
Ouais. Et on espère que ça continue pour d'autres langues également. Le but, c'est d'avoir plusieurs personnes. Le but, c'est que la langue ne soit pas une barrière pour quelqu'un d'appliquer.
Ah, d'accord, je vais intéresser à quelques de mes étudiants.
Ouais, exactement, il faut partager
Ah,
et tenir les gens informés justement parce que pas tout le monde est au courant de ça. Donc, ça sera cool que une grande majorité soit au courant.
d'accord. Déborah, bonsoir aussi.
Bonsoir.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. And so that we closed for today's AUA, and we look forward to receiving your application. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Thank you. We look forward to the
Thank
recording.
you.